Those thingies on. So those thingies are on. And that's on. Good evening. Welcome back. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year.
I had to fix the echo in my head.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It's like I'm hearing voices. I don't know why.
We always hear voices. Well, I always hear voices. But then I'm like a little bit crazy. Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to argue at that point. It happens. So,
all right. It's Scuba and Arrive back for 2020.
2020, a new beginning.
A new beginning, and and hindsight being what it is, we're gonna kick this year off and trying to have some real interesting growth, because last year we were doing this whole how's this experiment gonna work. Now we're starting to feel out our groove,
test the waters, and now we have ideas, we have plans, we have a way to go.
Yes, and we're and a little bit of growth, so that's encouraging to keep this.
Baby steps is always good, because baby steps means forward momentum.
Lots of momentum. Alrighty, had to bring back up my show notes here. So, alrighty, so I guess we'll kind of should bring that. Okay. So. Sorry about that. I'm kind of apparently trying to adjust our thing, so.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Happens live, but live is good.
Let's just go to let's just go to our normal hangout.
Yeah, let's just hang out. Chill. This time with clear juice, not orange juice.
What's the matter? You lost a little pigment?
That was the only choice they had.
See, now things are bustling and teeming because we just walked in the door.
Hit it hard, hit it fast, or just hit it slow. I don't know. Just tumbling down.
Okay, so. Alrighty, so let's see, kind of going through this because we want to be somewhat organized in our lives. First thing, let's get some housekeeping and some announcements out of the way.
Scrub it.
First thing, we've been doing those Mandalorian season 1 episodes.
Yep.
Over our little break here, we finished recording our episode reviews and did a season review. And the episode 7 review should be live on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and look for Scuba and the Rye, and you should bring it to the channel, Scuba Studio, and then check out that review.
Yes.
Next week should be the episode 8 and season 1 recap review. Also, as a bonus, because we closed out 2020 with The Witcher finally releasing on Netflix.
Yes, it did.
And we sat down and we watched it, and you know what? We just rolled right in and did reviews for all 8 episodes of The Witcher, as well as the season 1 review.
Gave some in-depth perspectives and a lot of fun chatter about it.
Oh yeah, it was great. The first episode of that is up on the YouTube channel.
Check it out.
So we'll get into a little bit more on that, because our section of what's on our section of what projects we're working on, where we can talk about that and a couple other things that's been going on. Also, the audio versions of episodes 26, 27, and 28 have been uploaded and staged. They'll start coming out. Episode 26 came out over the weekend.
Yep.
If you, for listening through Google Play Store, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, That's where you can check out that. So if you were subscribed to that and had like a month where no episodes, you'll start getting episodes and they'll start coming out. I'll just keep dropping them in, so they should be going now. They're gonna end up falling about a week, 2 weeks behind this show, because this show will do this. The VOD will be up, and then we'll release it on YouTube, and then the audio version will go out as well. So should be about a week after we do a live show that it comes out. Just allow time for some editing. Plus, I've already got stuff staged.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of thing. So, do you have any announcements?
Do I have any announcements? No, not
No,
really.
no
Just-
announcements.
Just more reviews coming down the road.
Oh yeah. So I guess with that, let's roll into our what's up, because we got like 3 weeks of what's up to talk about.
There's a lot of leg room to cover.
So let's kind of give ourselves a 5 minute to discuss what we've been up to for the last 3 weeks.
5 minutes. Ish. But, well, it depends.
We're
how
fluid
much.
here. We kind of bend and weave, duck and weave. So,
Yeah.
what you been up to?
Well, quite a few things. Well, of course, it was the holidays. Did the holiday thing, Christmas, New Year's, a little bit of fun, excitement, mostly work, but had a couple days off. The holidays.
The holidays.
Obligated. Company policy. Or
I took advantage of that holiday. I
Yeah.
didn't work on anything.
see, that's very, very good. But I spent the holidays just kind of, relaxing since I just, graduated. So it's like finally can roll into the new year and just kind of relax the mind. But still going to prepare because I am planning to go to grad school. So hopefully I can get into that.
Yeah, you got those tests and whatnot to work on, right?
Yep, March. I will take the GRE, and then after that, just play the waiting game. But other than that, Christmas was fun. Spent a Christmas dinner at my Aunt Janine's, and then at my girlfriend's family's house. Won big there in a dice game, so made some little bit of money. But
A little bit?
But got some fun gifts. Sound bar for the TV, so surround sound.
Nice.
And two Google Minis. So I'm, moving up in the world, I guess, when it
Sounds
comes to
like
that.
it.
It's getting used to it, but it's kind of fun playing with it because the minis can do a lot of things.
Yeah, this is definitely, and we talked about the Google press conference last year where we knew some of the tech that was coming in. So it'll be nice to see kind of what it is, because
Yeah.
I'm an Amazon. I have all my stuff as the Amazon side. You're using Google, so
Yeah.
we have some point of comparison.
Oh yeah, we can do some comparison. I have a lot of stuff tied to Google accounts, so it made sense to have the Google devices. But also did a winery trip.
Oh, really?
Between the holidays.
Where did we visit this time?
I only went to 2 vineyards, but that's just because now we're branching out past the main parts of like Charlottesville and Loudoun County, so I'm spreading out around the state. So just 2. One south of Richmond is called Ashton Creek Vineyard, and the other one on the James River is actually on a plantation called Upper Shirley Vineyard. But the most unique thing on that trip is that between the drive, we found a honey meadery in Hopewell, Virginia, where you can do honey tastings.
Honey tasting?
Yes, honey tastings. And let me tell you, I did not think you could make some really, really unique honeys. There's one made out of peppers.
A honey made out of peppers?
I bought it. I'll bring it over so you can try it.
Okay. Well, this is why you have friends that are foodies, because they'll
Me,
find
right
you
here.
interesting things to try.
But yeah, slowly and surely, working my way through the vineyards list, because I keep a map in my car. So every time we go to one, we just mark it off.
Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, New Year's was fun. Down to wine bottle by myself. That was good. Opened
Okay.
up one. I was like, okay, it's time to open up some of these bottles. So I opened up one bottle from. It's actually the winery trip we went on back in 2012.
Oh,
So that bottle.
has it really been that long?
Yep, the bottle said 2012, so it's been aging pretty well. So I was like, hey, why not pop it open?
Okay. So, alright, well, let's see. Yeah, holidays. Actually got through all of Lord of the Rings before New Year's.
Question is, extended or non-extended?
There's no such thing as non-extended. It's
The right,
only the
it's
extended
the right answer,
editions.
people. That's the right answer.
So, but yeah, I got through Fellowship and Two Towers, and then within a day or two after Christmas, I got through my Return of the King.
Yep.
And just kind of, and then it was, then New Year's Eve, I had a bunch of people over at the house. No drinking, because one of them had to go to work a few hours later, but we hadn't seen him in a while. So
Okay.
he got a new job, so now he has better hours than he did. The rest of the people who came over, we decided to come over and we set up the war table
Okay.
and throw down some Warhammer 40K
I
to
did see,
do New Year's.
Did see all the photos that you posted.
Yes,
So it looked very
I
fun.
put a bunch of them up on a. Because what I like to do is, if you follow me on Instagram, is when I work on various of these projects, like do these Warhammer games, I'll take photos of the table layout, and I'll try and take photos as kind of each turn progresses, so you can kind of see how the mini battle goes. Don't go into much more detail than that. I don't record or do time-lapse photos yet, but it is something I'm thinking about.
Hey, it's something to get into.
Maybe next New Year's when we do this again, we'll see about that, because didn't really go anywhere else to do any of the drinking stuff. But it was fun. Saladin came and hung out with us too, so we had like 7 or 8 people in this room. You didn't have to work on any of the setup. That was on you. But we set up a taco bar.
Oh,
I made my multi-meat chili, or multi-meat taco meat.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
I don't
about.
like to do just beef. I like to just kind of mix in. Like if the price is right, I'll do beef, turkey, and pork all in there, and to just kind of let it sit in the seasoning. And I'm one of those people, I like to slow cook all day.
Oh yeah, you let that meat simmer and it just tastes really great when it's done.
And I made 2 of them, 2 batches. One batch was the mild batch, where the only spice you tasted was from the pre-mixed seasoning you can get.
Yeah.
The other one, which was a smaller quantity, was the one I actually mixed in like half a jar of diced jalapenos.
See, when you mix in jalapenos and meat, it does add a lot of flavor. Like, I don't like jalapenos by itself, but if people mix it right, then it's really
Now they're not. Now there's the store-bought pickled kind of diced jalapenos, not like the ones I've got, which came from my garden last year.
Okay.
Which I don't know why, but for some reason you grow them yourself and eat them. They're like phenomenally hotter than the store-bought stuff. So maybe it's that mass production thing, or the extra preservatives they put in that kind of degrade.
Speaking of hot, I do have something funny that happened when we were on our winery trip.
Oh,
Me and
really?
My girlfriend Angelica. We stopped by the outlets because
Uh-huh.
I'm a shopper and I need to stop whenever I find somewhere to shop. So there is a shop up in Williamsburg Outlet where it's a hot sauce place. I forget what the name is, but they sell all these unique variety of hot sauce. Made the mistake of eating one of the salsas and not reading the label. Guess what pepper was in that salsa?
We're gonna go with either a habanero or a ghost.
It is the ghost.
The
and
ghost?
trust me, I am glad I had a bottle of Perry because
All
woo!
right. You need something else that'll knock
Hey,
out that capsaicin.
That's the only thing I had to drink. Man, I was sweating. I was
Oh.
tears. I was just like, what the heck did I just do?
Do you ever remember? This was a thing a few years ago. Hot Pepper Gaming.
Sounds familiar.
All right, so Hot Pepper Gaming was a kind of a review show
Okay.
where various personalities would go and they would review a video game. Well, here's the catch. While they're reviewing the video game, they're eating a pepper or a type of pepper.
They don't even know what type of pepper it is.
Oh, they do. They do.
Okay. I'm about to say.
The ones I love is Greg Miller from
Okay.
IGN and Game Over Greggy and all that. He did a couple of them for various Batman games, and he would eat habaneros for one of them.
Brave soul.
The one who was a real glutton for punishment, I'm guessing, was Matt Mercer. He came and did a review for Pillars of Eternity. I believe it was Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah.
And he was eating ghost peppers. Then he came back
I don't think he should be playing that game and eating ghost peppers.
Oh no, he was reviewing the game.
Oh, okay.
He was giving his opinions of the game. He really likes Pillars Returning.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
But no, he came back and did another review for Bloodborne. And not only did he eat ghost peppers again, but this time he ate the ghost peppers with a ghost pepper hot sauce. And I gotta say, it's like, I felt bad for the guy. But it was really funny to watch. Just that whole improv and off the cuff.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to check it out. Go to YouTube, look up Hot Pepper Gaming, and check out those videos. A lot of various personalities for streaming, whether from the IGN crew, Critical Role crew, a bunch of them. They've all did those. They were really good. And the games were their opinions of the games were really nice too. It's just you kind of realize that the pace at which they did the review was directly tied to how bad those peppers
yeah,
were.
I can fairly attest to the fact if you eat a ghost pepper, you're gonna take the time to talk.
Mm-hmm.
No to the ghost peppers, people. No to the ghost peppers.
So it was from there. It was of course I'm always hanging out at the airsoft field, having a good time, talking with players and seeing how the games and playing and watching the games. I got a few days of recording footage that I'm working my way through, so we'll get into that a little later in the show tonight.
Okay.
And I think that's it for all I've been up to. What about you, Saladin? You been up to anything, or are you just gonna anything you want to share?
Huh?
No. Okay, that's fine. Cool. I don't want to be rude or So. Oh yeah. So with that, we'll go ahead and roll into movie reviews.
There's quite a few.
Yeah. You've been a little busy.
Yeah.
You have been a little busy.
A little busy is another
So
statement.
we'll just kind of set you up there so you have the stage, and start off with our first review, which is Marriage Story.
Marriage Story, which is a indie drama, which is on Netflix. So if you want to check it out, you can.
I'm sensing there'll be a theme to the number of films we got here.
Yeah, there's a lot of high praise for a lot of these films.
Okay.
But not to spoil too much.
No.
But,
Let's start with this.
Okay.
It looks like so. This one we've got Scarlett Johansson,
Yes.
and we got Adam Driver.
Yes. So you got.
So we have the Black Widow and Kylo Ren in a romantic comedy.
Not necessarily a romantic comedy.
Okay,
it's
what is
more of a it's more of a drama.
Okay.
And it plays on the fact of what the cycle is for this family in particular, how their ups and downs in marriage, and basically focuses on the latter because they're going through a divorce. And you watch the divorce happen throughout the film, but it's placed against a very kind of like dry, dark humor kind of script.
Okay.
So everything is driven by the characters, and you watch how these two characters, Charlie played by Adam Driver and Nicole played by Scarlett Johansson, how it isn't them that drive the family into disarray. It's the lawyers. So when the lawyers get involved, it's what causes all the freneticism and all the craziness that happens, because they agree to certain stipulations, but it's the lawyers that drive the wedge into their emotional havoc of why they are at this point in the marriage. But the strength of this movie is in the fragility of their relationship and the overall idea of love and human devotion. Because as much as their marriage is falling apart, their friendship isn't, and their dedication to their families, to their son, and to just making everything okay even after the divorce is what makes this film a fun ride to watch in a very ironic sense, because it's all about their divorce. So it's a very witty, played against a very quirky kind of script, and it's very indie style.
And to be honest, I'm not seeing an issue with the cast, because Adam Driver, he's kind of he seems to shine at some of those things.
Yeah.
Not taking aside the whole Star Wars side, but a lot of the other things he's done, he's got that kind of dry.
He has a very if you only known him from Star Wars, then you're doing yourself a disservice because he is a very great actor and he's at his top of his game in this movie. Both him and Scarlett Johansson, they just showcase that that layer of fortitude and that guise of trying to keep composure while all of the stuff around them are falling apart.
Okay. So what are we going to rate this one?
It's a very strong drama film. It's very witty, smart. The strength is in the characters and the dialogue. So if you love that very emotional kind of film and like indie films, this is one for you. It's 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
It's a full price, so it would be worth seeing in theaters. But it's on Netflix, so I definitely recommend go check it out.
All right. So all right, let's go in our next review. Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Now we're just doing these in the order in which you did the review.
Oh, yes.
So we're just kind of roll with that. But hey, we're back to Adam Driver.
Adam Driver in another role, a more bigger role that most people probably know him in, as Kylo Ren. But
yeah.
This is the third of the sequel trilogy. This is the final of the Skywalker saga, and it's the one that is supposed to bring closure to everything from both the prequels, the original trilogy, and the sequel series.
Which, that's a pretty tall order, and a lot of the buzz seemed to be that while it was doing great box office wise initially and whatever, the story overall kind of...
I'll give it to you as I put in my tagline, my pun that I always put with the titles is Rise of Fan Service ... Spectacle of the End. So basically, this is a blockbuster. Like all the actions, set pieces, the sequences, the fights, the hand-to-hand combat, the both Kylo Ren and Rey fighting against each other, and then them ultimately, they have to face off against the big bad Palpatine together. That's not really a spoiler; it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But what it is, this film is just is an amalgamation of the whole issue of this latest trilogy in Star Wars. Is that
busy?
It's very busy. There's so many storylines to plot out, but there's no explanation for a lot of things that happen in. It's not certainly just plot holes. It's just everything is there for fan service. It's like the script writers, the director J.J. Abrams, which I love. He does a lot of great films, but you can tell that they're so scared to not do something new that just predicating to just what the fans want makes this experience so just unwelcoming and bland. It's just the fun is in the spectacle. So that is where the enjoyment it is. I think it is worth seeing on the big screen because of that spectacle, because of how everything comes together and everything wraps up. But just the predicating to the fans and not even trying to move the story forward or do something new. This movie actually gave me a greater appreciation for The Last Jedi than most people give it. Because at least Rian Johnson tried to do something different with The Last Jedi.
Okay, I'm reading the chat, so I'm listening to you.
But overall, it is a very safe movie, but a fun ride to see on the big screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's still fun, even if it predicates to a lot of fan service with everything in the film. It's still it's still fun.
So what are we going to rate this one?
This one I gave it 3.5 out of 5 matinee.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go check it out, and I'm going to see where we go from there. But all right. So next movie review. Little Women.
Little Women. It's an ensemble cast of a lot of people that you might know. Sarah Silverman, Sarah Roan. I forget how to say her name. But,
okay.
Also, Emma Watson's in there, so everybody knows her from like Harry Potter and a few other films. But,
yeah, and she's done some interesting stuff.
So what this film focuses on is a group of sisters, the March Sisters, and it talks about their adolescence as they live in the aftermath of the Civil War. It's not predicated on the Civil War, but that's just the time it takes place.
So in that 1870s time.
So Greta Gerwig, who also did Lady Bird, it goes in and tackles this story, and she does a very phenomenal job of mixing in a lot of like wittiness, of the modern era, but within a period piece. So it's a melding of two kind of different stylings with the script writing and genre, but it also focuses on the coming of age and adolescence of these four women.
Okay.
Because it goes between the past and present, so you see what they're doing currently and how everything leads up in the past. But the way it's directed, it goes back and forth. So it's a slow layer and revealing of it. And it's not your typical 1, 2, 3, first, second, third act. It's more of a slice of life. You're just watching them live. So all the fun, the drama, the sadness, the emotional overtures that happen are through their interactions as sisters and with everybody in the film.
All right. So what are we calling this one?
This is a very strong mixture of romance and drama and a good melding of storytelling through the characters. Gave it a 4 out of 5 full price. It is worth seeing in the theaters.
So this was a theatrical release. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. We're halfway through our movie review, so let's keep our rolling. Always Be My Maybe.
Always Be My Maybe is actually a Netflix film.
Isn't there a series with this too?
No, but it's actually based off another foreign film of the same name. But Netflix took it and kind of adapted it for the American audiences, but still focused on Asian characters.
Okay, yeah.
So, what you have is two characters, Sasha, played by Ali Wong, and Marcus, played by Randall Park, and you watch as they are childhood friends that people thought they would end up together, but through certain situations they didn't, and then 15 years later they rekindled their friendship, and then they place that will they or won't they get together kind of trope throughout the film.
Okay.
So it is your typical romantic comedy, so it has a lot of the same cliches and tropes and a mixed bag of joyous moments and comical hijinks. But what makes it stand out a little past the typical rom-coms out there is the dialogue and the interaction between the main characters.
Okay.
Because it's showcasing the Asian culture within America, but also showcasing just the witty humor and dialogue that these two comedian powerhouses have. So their contrasting personalities work very well because it brings a more amicable friendship on the screen, not just one that's boiled on typical archetypes,
Okay.
guy and girl. How are they going to get together? Blah blah blah. And also the funny cameo by Keanu Reeves playing Keanu Reeves in the film is hilarious.
I thought this was a series.
Nope, it's not a series.
It's a movie?
It's a movie.
I thought it was a series.
Nope.
Okay. It's like Keanu Reeves' point, because I remember all the buzz from that over the summer. It was like Keanu Reeves was in there. He's like playing
Keanu Reeves assance. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He plays like an over-the-top version of himself, but he is playing himself, so it's kind of fun.
Okay.
But yeah, even with all the cliches and stuff, just that rekindling of the friendship and just watching their hijinks throughout the film makes it for a fun experience. So I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Okay. Cool. Alright. Now for our 5th one in our series.
Ooh. Working our way.
The Two Popes.
The Two Popes.
So, I gotta ask, is this a Pope Mobile race?
I wonder. Were they racing mobiles on the drive? No racing Pope mobiles. But it does focus on, as you guessed it by the title, focused on the two popes. So it focuses on the conversations that happened between Pope Benedict, who's played by Anthony Hopkins, and future Pope and now current Pope, Pope Francis, played by Jonathan Pryce. And basically, these are two big voices in the Catholic Church, but have two opposing views on
a lot of things.
On a lot of things, and how they think the church should be progressing forward in the 21st century. And them just trying to find common ground because one's obviously more conservative and one's a little more progressive with what is going on with society. This film's strength this film's foundation and strength is within the dialogue and the conversation between these two characters. And watching how these two talk back and forth gives it a powerhouse that that rarely ever happens on the screen, because most of the times when you go to the film and you expect to get the hurrah, the emotional strength, the adrenaline rush just from like visuals and bombastic sequences and just overacting, that doesn't happen over here. The drama, the comedy, and the suspense is all comes from just their conversation with each other, and the bantering, the wittiness, the sly humor. It all humanizes these two, very, big, high figures in society, and showcases that even though they have big voices within a religious sect, they're still human at heart. They still have things that in their past cause flaws, but also weighs on them on being better for both each other as friends, but also being that image of the Catholic Church to billions of followers. So just their conversation is what makes this movie.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are we going to call this one?
Just to add a side note, what's funny is that Pope Benedict is always drinking Fanta in the movie. Like, that is his favorite choice to drink at dinner, which is hilarious. But other than that, it's a fun film. It's all dialogue, so if you're not a big fan of dialogue, I wouldn't recommend it. But overall, it is fun and emotional and funny. 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. All right. And now I believe our last film review.
Yes, sir.
Another Adam Sandler flick.
This is an Adam Sandler flick, but
is this another Netflix one?
No, this one's in theaters.
Oh, this one's in theaters?
Yeah, this one is in theaters.
It's been a while since he was on the theatrical
Oh
screen.
yeah, he's got that big contract with Netflix, so he's been popping a lot of those like really dumb comedies on the streaming service. But he does that because he likes to get free trips around the world. So hey, however you want to make your money, go at it.
All right, so what's Uncut Gems? Because it seems Adam Sandler over the last couple of years has tried to do more serious type things, not so much like his whole breakout hits.
Yeah, his typical comedy like Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, Billy Madison, and some of the ones that are on Netflix right now. This one, he leans more into his drama side. So if you're familiar with films like Punch Drunk Love, Spanglish, the one flick, there's another one that he did, I can't remember it right now, but another like another drama film.
Funny People or something like that?
Yeah, Funny People, there you go, Funny People. So a lot of times when you see a comedian in a drama role, it kind of throws you off because you're not used to it.
And then it's also like, okay, are they really trying to do the drama thing or not? Because I mean, him, Jim Carrey, I think Will Ferrell once or twice tried it, and it was just sometimes it goes off, it comes off. Sometimes it's like you kind of painted yourself in a corner because there's a shtick that people recognize you for, and you're not doing it, so now you're turning people off.
Yeah, but that here is not the case, because a lot of people have seen Adam Sandler do dramatic roles in the past, so they're like, oh, he's coming out with something different and unique again. And Uncut Gems is another one of those different and unique roles for Adam Sandler, but by far this is his best role to date. He is at his strength, like he showcases his talent as an actor. He plays a guy by the name of Howard Ratner, and he's a high-stakes jeweler from New York, and this film focuses on him putting everything on the line for this one prize gem that he retrieved from Ethiopia. And the whole film revolves around him placing bets on high-risk moves and him making bad decisions, left, right, center, however you want to see it. And the chaotic nature of his personality is what drives this film, franticness of the film, because it's so unpredictable and so puts you on the edge, because he just makes one bad decision after another because he has this addiction to gambling. He can't break this habit, and each of these choices lead to unforeseen moments, and it creates a very uneasy feeling in every scene that you have him in, because you don't know if that's going to be his last, if he's going to be just boom, taken out, because he deals with really bad people.
This sounds somewhat similar to some of the concept behind Snake Eyes a few years back with Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, but unlike this one is more of it's more dark, more dreary, and it's just a revolving door of bad decisions. And
All right.
even when there is he's driven by this blind hope that he can hit it big. And when you think the tides would turn, it just doesn't turn in his favor. But it doesn't, even when you have an assumption that it might not turn in his favor, the film is so unpredictable that when things happen, it's shocking when revelations of all of his consequences come to haunt him.
Okay. All right, so what are we going to call this one?
The best performance of Adam Sandler's career, and one of the best films that I missed for my top 10 from last year. So 4 out of 5 full price.
All right. So, with that. All right. Now, before we roll into our next thing, we got a couple of movie TV news, because we love to see what we talked about, what we saw. Now we're gonna look ahead.
Oh yeah.
And I got a couple of articles that you've sent over the last couple of weeks, and no particular order. Let's start off with the first one. Thor 4 update. Christian Bale's in talks to join the latest Thor movie and to get into the MCU.
It's a very big name to join the MCU, but as Screen Rant reports, there's rumor that he is being courted for an unspecified role in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Well, I mean, they've gotten some people in there, and he's definitely bringing some credentials coming in.
It's another one of those actors that have been able to, you can say that they played Marvel and DC.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we got a TV bit. Lucifer Season 5 casts Dennis Haysbert as God.
Yes, as reported on Screen Rant, Dennis Haysbert has been cast officially as God for Season 5 and final season of Lucifer. And a tidbit, he has worked with the other actors in another Fox show.
Oh, okay. So this would be like hanging out again.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see. Frozen 2 is the highest grossing animated film of all time. Gee, who didn't see this coming?
A lot of people, even with the lukewarm receptions that some people had with the film, it didn't stop it. Because the thing is, even with lukewarm, it's still a fun film to watch. And it broke many records and drove people to the masses to watch it.
Yeah, I think I was picking up, I was waiting on Top Shelf to get off of work on a Sunday. And so I was sitting there waiting, and they were playing the Emmys. And the Frozen 2 was in the nominations for Best Original Song.
Oh, yeah.
For an animated film.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those songs where you could tell they're trying to get that let it go moment. But even when you know it starts to catch on eventually. And you're like, man, this is really catchy.
Yeah. You just need to let it go.
And so right now, Frozen 2 is sitting at 1.325 billion worldwide, as according to Screen Rant.
Another Disney
right
film
now.
that broke $1 billion.
Oh wow!
Alrighty, next.
What's new?
Yeah. Next up, Knives Out sequel in development. Daniel Craig wants to come back.
This is one I sent because I knew you would probably like this idea.
Knives Out was a good film.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good film, and there are reasons why what made that film a lot, but also the fact that what Rian Johnson is mentioning, that he wants to focus on the detective, makes it even more enthralling to see that there could be more movies down the pipeline if it goes down this track.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, and our last little news bit that we're going to cover is the next Star Wars movie saga reportedly is going to be set in the High Republic era.
Yeah, as reported on comicbook.com, it is being mentioned that, or being reported, strong reporting that the next films will be set in that High Republic era, which takes place 400 years before the Skywalker saga.
Oh, the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a little, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was that whole bit with the Star Wars visual encyclopedia that came out with after Rise of Skywalker, that should have made a lot of Star Wars fans of the expanded universe really happy, and that was they have found a way to make Revan part of the new canon.
Oh yeah. And there's been a lot of hints and droppings about stuff from that era in Star Wars. So just this adds more credence to the fact that they might be exploring a lot of stories way before.
And they've been looking at it. Looks like they're starting to bring in a lot of that expanded universe stuff. They just have to fit it in, which I'm giving credit to the story group, and I'm just saying, cool.
Give them a chance.
Alrighty. With that, I think we'll move on to our next thing. So we're gonna take a trip.
Take a trip somewhere.
Yep.
Trippity trip.
Oh, and of course we'll spend some time checking out the chat. Hi, chat. Righty. Let's see who we got. Yo by Velocity. Welcome. G Cuts 09. Welcome. Who else we see in there?
I know who that is.
Oh, of course, Saladin. Yep. Let's see. Oh, welcome to the chat. How's everybody doing? We're doing amazing through New Year. Oh, yes. Restream comment.
Yeah, I know who the geck is.
Okay.
Make sure if you have a Twitch account, even if you don't stream on it, host us.
Yeah,
And it
that'd
goes
be nice.
along with Mixer as well. You can host us, and this will actually increase the content
Exposure.
we might have.
Exposure. So yeah, lots of fun. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, thank you for the support. Yes, totally. All right. So our next thing is
State of game.
State of Game.
Travel to the universe of controllers and clicks.
Controllers, clicks, dice, all the fun. As we do our first State of Game of 2020. And as always, State of Game is a point where we talk about all the various games that we're involved in, whether they be tabletop games, roleplay games, video games, and airsoft games. Because, I spend a lot of my time out of Balahack Airsoft, and we have lots of fun there.
Yeah, doing a lot of pew-pews and running around.
I guess a lot of great pew-pews. Got a lot of great... That community is so much fun to hang out with.
The stories that you tell about that place just makes me just smile.
You got to come out and be a spectator.
Yeah, I just want to come out.
Get your action photography on.
Yeah, I could definitely work on that going out there.
Yep.
Maybe sometime this year.
I mean, I'm actually wanting to get more into photography again after the one time. But anyway, so we're gonna start off digitally and start off with what video games you've been up to.
Since I finished Star Wars, I had to find another placeholder, and I decided to jump into Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds, yes, because I started playing the Outer Worlds while you were playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Now it's going to be reversed.
Yeah, I do have Jedi Fallen Order installed. I just have not sat down for my first stream to sit there and start playing.
Oh yeah.
So
in time.
Yes, that is on the books for this year. Yeah. So what do you think of the Outer Worlds?
Outer Worlds is which I mentioned to you before the show. It's a very Bethesda, like you said, a very Bethesda driven game. It has Fallout elements, but I think that it's far removed from that Fallout element enough to where it's very tight. Like it's very even though
polished.
It's more polished. It's very tightly driven with the mechanics and the character interactions and the world. I mean, it's not very big and vast, but it's big and vast. It's very ironic in the way it feels big, but it's just very focused, and I like that. And then there is consequences to decisions. You have to make sure you know how to persuade and talk and work your way out, and maybe accidentally, kill a group of people you probably shouldn't have. But it happens. It happens.
Hey, guess what? It's a video game. Just reset.
Well, I won't reset because that group of people I was really mad at. So it just happened that I was trying to lockpick into one of their places, and then they started shooting, and I shot back, and they lost.
Then
I stole all their stuff and went.
That wouldn't happen to have been in the bowels of the space station, right?
No, it was at the gatekeeper or that space station.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Well, I got them to get on my side for a certain mission, and then I killed them.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. So, what else you been playing?
Other than that, Borderlands 3. I don't know how far or close to the end I am, but I've been just kind of filtering out all the side
Yeah,
missions.
so last time we talked about it, you were working on completing as many quests as possible.
So what I like to do, people, is I like to dance around the main quest. So I do a lot of the side stuff, try to do collectibles, and then eventually move the story forward. Which I'm kind of doing in Outer Worlds too.
Okay.
Doing every nook and cranny.
Yeah, I know. I got a couple hours in on that. Excuse me. Alrighty. Well, my turn. Unfortunately, I do not have any video game updates this time. I've been a little busy working through my backlog and trying to adjust to new schedules. Because, as we talked before the end of the year, my son has a job. So doing the chauffeur thing, getting him home from work on nights he works, and some other another family member got a new job, so she's now out. She's going through that as kind of working on trying to change things up.
Okay.
So there's a lot of flux in the schedule around the house right now. I have some new opportunities that have come up, so working through a lot of that. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, so, but I do have a game I played, and that was, I talked about earlier, is New Year's Eve. We played a Warhammer campaign meeting. So set this out. I got into dungeon crafting last year, and I'll have some videos for dungeon crafting coming out as I work on stuff, because I got a whole pile of things to build towers and whatnot. Anyway, so my Penumbra, Penumbra's brother, another friend of ours, and a couple other friends of mine, and Saladin, and we're all here. We set up. So I took and set up a 6 foot by 4 foot, or 6.5 foot by 4 foot table.
Yeah.
That laid out a kind of a courtyard to a castle keep type thing. I utilized my dungeon tiles. I utilized my dungeon set pieces I've been making. Set up these towers and whatnot, and then we each put out 5 units. So you get into the whole miniatures and miniature combat things. A lot goes in there, but it's basically, if you've ever played like Risk, that whole concept where it's like you're moving your armies across, same kind of deal. It's not much different. I mean, if you played chess or Risk, it's just the change out the table and then change the pieces. And the various pieces, you build these units where it's like, okay, I have a command structure that offers these benefits, and this many models go to this unit, and if you meet a certain model threshold, then the unit can do these new things. So it was kind of a setup. We had the Imperium on one side, the non-Imperium on the other. The benefit for me is I typically play as Dark Angels.
Yeah.
And when you get into the lore of Warhammer, it's Dark Angels actually when everything went crazy, Dark Angels actually split into 2 groups.
Okay.
There's the Dark Angels that are associated with the Imperium, and then there's the Dark Angels that went rogue, and they're considered the Fallen. They look the exact same. So I think of myself as kind of like a Harvey Dent type commander. I flip a coin as I'm either good or bad.
Neither.
Exactly. So we set this up, and we got about 3 turns in, and then it was about 11 o'clock. Wrapped up our final turn just before the ball dropped, and then packed everything up. So it was fun, and we're looking at, as we look into this new year, anytime we have a 5th Saturday or Sunday in a month, which is that's when we're going to try and set up for another table and try to get faster at the whole scenario and the setup and just going through the turns and learning more about it. In fact, Penumbra gave me the codex for Dark Angels for Christmas, which I really cool. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
So, kind of going with that, and that was the major game I played over the last several weeks. Airsoft side, is so many different games to talk about, but I got a few highlights to share.
Okay.
We had, trying to remember, last weekend, because those are a little fresh in my mind. So last weekend we had a couple of scenarios where the Saturday was kind of rainy and wet, so there was a lot of people. There was people out there, but it not like uber crazy.
Yeah.
And then then Sunday it was a nicer day, had a lot more people out. Well, we had a scenario. We had a attack and defend in a scenario. The attack and defend. It was the attackers had to retrieve Larry the alien from somewhere in the town and extract him to the cannibal village. Well, it took the attackers a good solid minute or so, 30 minutes or so, to find the alien, which they hid in like the outer reaches of the town. I'm not going to give it away because it's a great hiding place. But they found it, and then they were trying to move it. Well, they didn't get outside of town because the defenders had realizing they had lost the town, had repositioned and set up a complete wall to prevent any access to the cannibal village. So I mean, it was just like they trying to push. And there was no way to push because it was done. Then after lunch, we had the scenario game, and this was a great scenario game.
Okay.
The scenario was you had two teams. One team started on the Peanut Pond, which is in town, on the east side of town, and another team started on the Westro Conics, which is the furthest west of town. Now, the Peanut Pond team, their respawn point was the LZ. The Westro Conics' respawn was Cannibal Village. They had three objectives they had to control. They had to control the Escher building, which is the two-story building in town. They had to control the halfback bunker, and then they had to control the North Fire Base.
Okay.
And so at the start of the whistle, teams from both sides made a beeline out to the north to get this. And so ended up being a major firefight in the north, in the kingdom, where Westro was able to come out on top and own North Fob. Peanut Pond had the halfback, and Westro had the Escher as well. Well, and then they had managed to also spawn lock the Peanut Pond team.
Okay.
Until all the people in the north they just wiped out went back to respawn. So I'm standing there with a couple of the guys from one of the teams, Craft International, and I'm hearing their radio chatter about, hey, yeah, they got them blocked at the hole in the wall. They couldn't get any further. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and it's like, wait a minute, we just sent... Oh, yeah, they're not going to be trapped much longer. So I was like, I called it over, and it's like... But they started trying to push back, and they couldn't push into the Escher at the end of by the end of the time period. Because they also lost the halfback. So the Westro Connex team had all three objectives. And the game went for a solid hour.
That's a good long time.
It is. Most times when you do these scenario games, after about 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes, things are kind of stale.
Yeah.
No, this was back and forth, a good solid hour. It was a great game.
That's good. That's good.
I think last couple weeks also been really great games. And what it seems like, all the people post-Christmas and post-New Year's are really busy because there's a lot of people out on the field. So we get a lot of new players, a lot of people. It's like they want to show off their Christmas stuff and get into this whole airsoft thing. But I've got some great footage from a couple of the games. I didn't take any footage last weekend because the weather was kind of rough, and
yeah, I can't wait to see footage because that one time you showed it was pretty hilarious how it ended.
Oh yeah, it's great. It was a lot of fun. I got to finish putting those together. But yeah. All right. Okay, so next up shift over because, you know, we're traveling along. Yeah, there we go. Gotta keep doing our travel.
Travel around, making our way.
Making our way and away.
Through the endless towns. Dum-ba-dum.
Alrighty. So, here's what we got going on next. News piece, or some new gaming news stuff to talk about. Let's see. This one seems pretty big. I've been hearing about this the last couple of days on my morning news feed.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the Respawn CEO takes over DICE LA.
Yes, that is a very big thing because Respawn Entertainment.
They kind of spawned off of DICE,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're coming back to take over DICE. So they're planning to rename the studio, and they got a new game that's they're working on. So hopefully we'll see some teaser of that this year at E3.
Oh yeah.
And then a couple other cool things Xbox side.
This is just a cool thing because it's just like, yeah, it just is.
It is, and that is the fact that Grand Theft Auto 5 is now on Xbox Game Pass.
Oh yeah, as reported by IGN.
I mean, GTA 5 really is a wild, wild ride.
Yeah, both the single player and the online component. It is even though it's been released plenty of years ago, it's still a powerhouse and stays in the top 10 of selling. I mean, every month.
Once you get over the fact that this is definitely a mature game.
Mature, not for kids. I am telling you, it's not for kids.
It's a very mature game, but it's so massive in its scale compared to the previous Grand Theft Autos. And not that the franchise has ever been, anything less than mature, but this one really is kind of compelling these three individuals that are the main characters that you end up working with. So that's on Game Pass. I'll probably have to give it a chance to check it out because I remember I did a season at GameStop the year that this came out.
Oh yeah.
So there's lots of conversations about, should I let my kid get this? I'm like, how old's your kid? Oh, he's not 17? No.
Unless you were like me who understood that it was a video game, you could play it at a very young age.
Yeah, but it seems like a lot of this is you want to educate you're spending just as much time educating the parents on this as you are the kids, because the kids, it's like, oh, it's a video game, and it's like, yeah, but do you realize what this video game talks about? Yes, it's fiction. Yes, we should delineate between fiction and reality, but it's Grand Theft Auto. This is not,
I grew up playing Mortal Kombat and Doom at middle school age, so yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
might sneak this game in just because it's just like, Cyberpunk comes out when? I think I can go back and play this.
Yeah. All right, and our last little news story, and this is just hilarious and feels near and dear to me because, my parents do a lot of work with the North Carolina Pug Rescue. So,
I thought it would be the latter information.
Oh, no, see there's two parts to this. It's a full circle.
Full circle.
It's a full circle.
Okay.
They do a lot of work with Pug Rescue, so anything dealing with pugs is cool.
Okay.
But 343 Studios hired a pug to make sounds for Halo Infinite to represent the aliens.
Oh, yeah.
It's just... this is kind of cool.
As reported on GameBite, quote, Gizzo the pug was introduced to fans on Halo's official Instagram account, and she looks like a very good girl. In fact, she's such a good girl that she's helped out the studio by supplying grunts and huffing and puffing noises for the future game.
Can't wait to check this
End
out.
quote. Yeah. So, when you're playing the game, all I'm going to be thinking about is pugs. Pug away, people. Pug away.
Alright, so kind of work on a couple of things. Kind of skip over that one because we don't want to run too long, too late. But oh, good. Okay.
I can blaze through that list. I meant like.
All right. Well.
Just say the names.
And a quick excerpt. I can do that. Yeah.
Yep.
So you should introduce it.
Okay.
I could just,
so we are now in 2020. So as usual, in most worlds, when it comes to people who do reviews and do critiques, is we look back on the previous year and we put together our quote unquote top 10 lists. Well, you know what, Bri, as always, you have a top 10 list.
Oh yes, I
So
posted
here
a
is our top 10 list of 2019 on ryreviews.com. Check it out, as well as all the other reviews he's done. And let's see. And
Do
of
the
course, this
honorable
is in
mentions.
it's honorable mentions, and of course, this is in no particular order.
The
Or
honorable,
do we have
the,
do we have an order to this top 10?
the honorable mentions aren't in a particular order, or they're just ones that they're great movies, but they just missed the top 10. So there is a particular order
All right.
after the honorable mentions.
Okay, so let's get started at our top here. First, number 10 is Us.
Us, yeah. This is Jordan Peele's second outing and another great psychological horror from him.
All right, number 9 we have Little Women.
I just talked about this in my film review. I'm not going to go too much into it, but a great ensemble cast and a great period piece.
Go check it out. All right, let's see. We have The Irishman.
Martin Scorsese at his finest and returning to a genre that he is beloved.
All right, next up we have Blinded by the Light.
There's always one coming of age film on my list, and this is the one that takes the cake.
Okay.
Unique.
All right, next we have A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
A different take on a biopic, but one that is a very strong inspirational tale.
Did you hear how he got Tom Hanks was given an award at the Golden Globes? It's like an achievement award or something like that.
Yeah, he got an achievement award. I was watching a little bit of it because I was doing something while it was on in the background. But yeah.
Okay. Next up we have Knives Out.
This one probably will make you happy that it's on my list, but
It's a good one.
a great whodunit story and a great original take on that genre.
So you don't get a lot of whodunits, not anymore. Not in today's cinema.
And this one is a very good one because it's very original.
Yes. All right. Next up, we have Marriage Story.
One I just recently talked about in this podcast, but a very, very strong film. And this one actually moved up on the list. The more and more I thought about it, it just kept creeping up.
All right. Next up, we have Avengers Endgame. Obviously,
it is the defining moment of the MCU and shows.
Do we really even need to say what?
Okay, no, there, yeah.
I mean, if they
go to
don't
Disney
know,
Plus and watch it.
Yeah,
I mean, if they don't know, then
We're done.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Next up, we
Can't
have
be my friend.
Toy Story 4.
There's something endearing when you've watched a film evolve over the ages. Watching from the first to the fourth, it's just seeing how they can knock out the park 4 different times is just phenomenal.
Yep. All right. And the number 1 film, Ford vs. Ferrari.
This is the true. This film right here is the true meaning of a journey in cinema.
Okay.
Like, it defines every aspect of what makes cinema great.
All right. So yeah, definitely worth it. I'm gonna kind of sit down and take stock and look at some other projects we got working on. So let's see. We're gonna do some shop and studio projects. This is kind of things working on to kind of give you a look forward to some new content that we're working on, because this show is one of many that trying to work on. So as talked to about in the beginning,
Yeah.
we have our second series that we're doing we did reviews on, and that was The Witcher.
On Netflix, check it out today.
Yep. So we have those episode and the season review, and those are going to come out weekly. From now until the end of February, which the last week of February should be both the season 1 recap and the episode 8 review.
Yeah.
Also, we have the audio versions of the show and how they're getting released out.
Oh yes.
Scuba Cam update. Scuba Cam, which is the and this is one that I've actually been struggling with, because it's like the concept sounds really good until I start reviewing the footage, and it's like trying to, of course, and I'm starting with probably the elephant in the room, and that's my footage from Revelations 10.
Yeah.
Because Revelations is not your typical airsoft game. So it's one of those, so it's like, and I figured if I can figure out a way to do this, then the other stuff will start to come, because it's a little more...
Yeah, it's a trickle-down effect.
Yeah, and the other games are kind of easy. It's like A, B, linear progression, good. Revelations is not that kind of game. So I think the concept will be it's kind of a vlog type thing. I have the first day of footage edited into 5 parts.
Okay.
Just got to do some voice. Was gonna do one thing for the audio because, to be honest, the camera I'm using to record Scuba Cam has got a really crappy microphone. It's like the radio on my chest. You hear that fine.
Yeah.
But somebody who is less than anybody from 2 to 6 feet away, you can barely hear them. Yet, when I know I have the conversation with them, I hear them just fine. But the camera is not picking it up very well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great dialogue that I overheard.
Yeah. But it wasn't captured.
But it wasn't captured well. So it's just, we're just going to strip out all that audio. So I think we'll do a kind of a voiceover and just kind of, see how that kind of goes and be kind of a vlog thing. It's just kind of a day in the life. I'm not really. It's really I trying to tell a story. There are other people out there doing airsoft videos, telling stories. First person perspective. I'm a third person perspective, which again is very different to try and do. And then it's just trying to find some way to get that across. But I think I have a track now, so I should have that footage coming out over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll just kind of roll through that. Another project is I started the new year off with a mini build. So, because what I got, and I'll grab it right here so you can see. Oh, so a buddy of mine gave me a mini that is kind of a late birthday gift, but it is basically the head of my chapter in Warhammer 40K.
There you go.
And it is an all metal mini.
That is pretty cool.
So
pretty cool, people.
I have my crafting area where I was going to start working on dungeon builds and stuff like that, and I actually sat down and built him all on camera.
That is pretty
Open
cool.
the package, do all the cleanup, glue them together. So that video I'm going to get put out by the end of the month as well. Just have to go through and clean it up. That's pretty much what I got there. And there was a project you wanted to work on, the streaming stuff that we're still kind of tossing it, discussing the ideas.
Yeah, wanted to build off another wanted to expand the Scuba and Rye sphere.
Yes,
and with
definitely.
the if you notice through a lot of our podcasts, we talked about the rise of streaming and all the various things. So I pitched the idea that we should have another show focused exclusively on the streaming stuff, and then developing different kind of content for it.
Yeah, so that'll be we're going to work on that. We'll see how that kind of plays out. Yeah. But I think that's pretty much there. I still have a shop project I'm working through. I have to find some time to finish that one up. But I think that's pretty much it for our projects.
Oh, yes.
So that means our last thing to go through is odds and ends.
The odds of the ends. And
now,
boy, do we have a couple.
We got something special for you guys tonight for the odds and ends. We see these stories, right?
Yes.
And so odds and ends is a collection of internet stories that are kind of geek and centric or just kind of weird. And we're going to read the headline and just kind of what's our reactions and opinions. Now, the bonus is we actually have photos for each of these stories.
For you.
So you can see what we saw and what influenced our opinions on this. So we're going to start off with our first one, which is a gaming thing. And that is a Kirby nap pillow. The cutest and strangest thing in human history.
And
all right, and that's here in the center here. It's like, I saw this, I'm just like, wait, what?
Put your head in Kirby and let the suction happen. Suck away into Neverland.
It's funny. It's funny. It's cute. I get it. It's just, Man, that looks so weird.
I want it because it's so weird.
That's the reaction. That's the reaction my wife gave too.
Oh,
This would be a great gift for a weeb.
A weeb.
A great gift for a rye.
Ah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Wait, you are a weeb.
Yes. So it works. Yes.
Alrighty. Our next story, because shenanigans ensue
Around the world.
around the world, and here is one, and that is, here's the headline: Isle of Wight model Triceratops left in the middle of High Street. And from what it looks like, it's some people who had a little too much to drink, and decided to, hey, let's do this and get it for a few laughs.
Oh yeah. So just to quote the first line of the article, a 25-foot, 7.6 meter model Triceratops had to be removed from High Street in God's Shill on the Isle of Wight after it was dragged from Jurassic Garden.
Dragged. So
Yeah.
obviously these people didn't lift it.
The owner says it takes 5 people to move that thing. So it must have been 5.
Oh, this was a concerted effort.
Yeah. So a lot of drinking and a lot of partying led to a Triceratops on top of a road.
And the thing is like, I heard it's like people doing goofy things. Like, I remember years and years and years ago when I was in that phase, and it was like I had a few traffic cones. That's about it. Maybe.
I wouldn't mind have been late and being stuck in traffic because of a Triceratops, because that's a story that would win me
I was
over.
like, why were you late? Well, you see, there's this Triceratops in the road, and wait, what?
Like, Jurassic Park? What? Who? What? No.
Speaking of which, that's one of the games for Games with Gold this month right now.
It is. It is.
All right, and our third story, and this is one of those things that's just kind of cool in one sense, and just
It's heartwarming.
it's heartwarming.
It makes you feel good about life.
It's got the feels, and that is a family cleans their house and finds a pet tortoise that's been missing since 1982.
30 plus years. So they were cleaning out because their father passed away. So when they went to clean out, they came to find, our pet tortoise was still living in there.
Now, keep in mind, they got this tortoise back in 30 years ago. They thought that because some local contractors had come over and done work on the property and left the door open,
Yeah.
they figured the tortoise wandered out of the house into the forest.
Mm-mm.
No, he wandered into a closet and pretty much was stuck there for the next 30 years.
How he survived 30 years, who knows?
I
meant, tortoises, they can live a very long life, but in a closet,
in a closet.
Yeah.
He survived, so hey, no big deal there. I
Yeah.
mean, he survived. It isn't
Yes.
like I found this tortoise skeleton in there. No, it's literally the dude picked up a box and said, "I'm going to throw this out," and another person said, "Hey, what about you going to throw out that tortoise too?" He looks, and that's sticking out a hole in the box is the tortoise, and he's just in a like.
it's like reliving that childhood memory, finding that old game.
Oh
or
yeah,
finding that old toy.
great.
Them old sneakers.
Alrighty, and with that, that's our odds and ends for this week. We'll have more coming forward as always.
There's always, it seems like you'll never find one, but so happen to be a person like me. Rye always finds a way.
Alrighty, so with that, we're gonna go ahead and do our closing credits and show notes and shout outs. So let's start off with where can you find us? Where can you see us? So
There.
yeah, I have little images.
We got stickies and clickies and everything.
Yeah, they look cool.
Poke.
Because we just can't use the stock stuff. We gotta have a little fun with it. So let's start off.
Are you picking on me again?
No, I'm not picking on you. I'm actually very happy with it, so we're good. Let's start off with Rye. Where do we find Rye Guy?
You can find me on Instagram at IncubusTrav. Message me, send a friend request.
Alrighty. You can find me at Scuba Cod on all the social medias. Twitter, Instagram, obviously here on Twitch and Mixer. You can check the show out at facebook.com/scubasstudio. Give us a like there and check out our discussion groups and info. If you like the show, want to support the show, go to patreon.com/scuba studio. There you can, Patreon members get extra access to our Discord server, as well as ability to chime in and hang out with us in our Patreon only show, which we do at the end of this show. Also, Patreon members get early access to all content that we create. Like right now, if you're a Patreon member, you can see all of the episodes of The Witcher review.
All of them. They're there.
All of the Mandalorian episode reviews.
They're there.
So if you're not a Patreon member, you have to wait a few weeks to catch all this video goodness. But Patreon, you can go check it all out right now.
Yes.
As well as check out our Patreon shows.
They can get kind of rowdy.
Oh yeah,
in a good way.
It's good. We're still fairly family friendly here. Also, if you want to email us some feedback and some suggestions and whatnot, you can email us at scubastudio@gmail.com. Just kind of put in Scuba and the Rye in the subject, and give us your feedback and give us some suggestions if you think there's something we should cover. All right. Also, check us out on YouTube at Scuba. Do a search for Scuba Studio. Help us get those subscriber numbers up. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell so you're notified when new content's released there. And I think that's all that for the contacts.
Yeah.
Why don't you do the show credits?
Sirenscape.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Show credits. Where do you want me to start?
Let's start with the top with logo and artwork.
Logo artwork, thanks to Volgaraza from Nimajinshi Studios. A background art by images by Igor Shitark from Pixel Bay.
Yep, Igor from Pixel Bay. There'll be credits in the show notes on that. And of course, our big one is a big shout out and thank you to Sirenscape for letting us use the background music and soundboards.
Thank you.
That you've been hearing and commenting on. Go to Sirenscape.com. Sirenscape.com/whatisirenscape/Scuba and the Rye, and check it out. Take your game to the next level. Also, additional musics from once we get to the podcast side, the audio side, some additional movement and shout outs. So with that, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we good. Good return. 2020.
Yep, we're gonna kick it off in high gear. All right. So if you are a Patreon member and want to hang out with us in our next segment, stand by and wait. Everybody else, thank you for checking us out. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Love each other, and we will see you next week.
Peace.